Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are fine. It's a lovely weather here and I hope you guys are doing great. Anyway, I just want to appreciate you guys for subscribing and also liking my video. I pray that God bless you for all the support you've been giving me. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the 4B movement. Like, I come across this video and the video on TikTok and I was curious, like, what's a 4B movement? We are going to be talking about it and reacting to some videos about this 4B movement. First of all, let's know what's 4B movement and we'll see what people has to say about that. Let's go.
No heterosexual marriage, no childbirth. These are just two of the pillars of the radical 4B feminist movement in South Korea, in which women are basically boycotting men. I'll explain. The 4B movement is based on 4 pillars, each of which starts with B, the Korean word for no. Bihon, no heterosexual marriage. Bichulsan, no childbirth. Biyone, no dating men. And biseksu, no heterosexual sexual relationships. Though the movement has been gaining visibility on TikTok in recent weeks, it first gained recognition on Twitter circa 2019. The previous year, South Korean women had taken to the streets to protest an epidemic of voyeurism and spy cam porn, in which women were recorded without their knowledge in public restrooms, at their homes, or even at work. 2 YouTubers, Jung Se-young and Baek Ha-na, are often credited with boosting calls to exit the patriarchy through their no marriage movement begun on their page Solidarity. But even before then, the Escape the Corset movement back in 2016 saw Korean women rejecting societal expectations placed upon them, taking aim at the country's internationally renowned beauty industry by shaving their heads on camera and refusing to wear makeup. Intimate partner violence is another source of discontentment amongst Korean women. A 2016 national survey by the South Korean Ministry of Gender Equality and Family found the rate of intimate partner violence against women to be 41.5%.
This morning, my girlfriend woke up and told me about a real rabbit hole she went down last night on the TikTok app about this 4B movement in South Korea. 4B. See what's going on in South Korea, according to my girlfriend. All the women in South Korea are just not engaging with dudes anymore. They're not talking to them. They're not going on dates with them. They're certainly not banging them. Nothing. They're just stonewalling these dudes. Every girl in Korea. And it's making its way to the U.S. It's becoming a real trend. So watch out, fellas, because the entire population of females in the United States, who, by the way, can't coordinate, like, between 3 of them what time to have fucking brunch. But apparently, you know, all of them just worked this out, are going to just all stop talking to us. Let me tell you something. You're all too conniving and backstabbing to pull this off, even if you could all fucking agree. Because you'd all start side-eyeing your friends like, wait a minute, is she going to start dating that dude that I've been eyeballing on the sly? And you'll all just hook up on the sly, which is what you all fucking do anyways. And let's be honest, what's really going on in Korea is that in one city in Korea, there's a small percentage of women that are trying to do this movement. It's basically the equivalent of, like, if all the blue-haired girls in Chicago quit banging dudes. And no one's banging those girls anyways. So I'm sure what's going on in real life is in Korea, there's about 1,000 nerds that nobody's interested in who are like, oh, we no more bang you. And that's it. That's the movement. I hate to break it to you, ladies, but you're just pissing up a rope with this one. Why don't you start by getting 4 of you to coordinate lunch plans and move forward from there? Expand outward. Start small.
Okay, over the past few days, my video about the whole 4B movement has gone viral to some degree. The stitches have gone viral to the first one I did, but not the follow-up. And what I have realized today is that so many men are upset at the 4B movement because it exposes they have no power. And it reminds me of a speech that Papa Pope gave in Scandal. And it was pretty much like this. These men are upset, and to relate it to this, these men are upset that women are snatching back their power. Women have always had power, always had it. But men running around talking about now there's going to be a 4G movement. Let me tell you something, gentlemen. If you have to run around telling folks how powerful you are, you got to run around telling women we're going to do this because you did that. That means you have no power. If you got to tell somebody how powerful you are nobody. You got nothing. You have no power. Because like Papa Pope said, real power is silent. Real power is hidden. Real power was there all along. Real power cannot be gained and never can be lost. It is not a commodity. It is who you are. And what we see today are a bunch of little boys running around upset that they can no longer put on as pseudo men. Ladies, I am sorry if I offended you in the first video I made, but I am here to tell you what the 4B movement has done is exposed that most men have no power outside of sexual conquest or domination. They don't have it. Because they are not leaders. They don't want to be leaders. They want to be pseudo power brokers. Because what I've noticed is this. When you want to really change your community, you don't start off by attacking the weaker vessel, which is our women. You don't do that. And that is what is being done with the creation of the now 4G movement, which I don't even know what the hell that means. I don't even know what the 4Gs are. Rather than make a response movement to women as a group of men, why don't you do what I said to do in the last video? Let's at least attempt to have the conversation with our sisters and say, you know what? We understand we've messed up. We understand we've made a mistake. Can we sit down at the table? Let's talk about this. And you better pray that they're able to sit down and some of them will say yes. But all this is exposing is that men have no power. A large percentage of men have no power. Once you can't control a woman financially, once you can't dominate them sexually, you've lost it. Real leaders don't have to worry about power maintenance. I don't have to worry about this. There is nothing that anybody can tell me to convince me that the creation of the 4G movement is a good idea. It ain't nothing more than a bunch of little boys trying to bat their fist and bang them together and join the He-Man We Hate Women Haters Club. It's foolishness to me. It's absolutely foolishness. It's absolutely ridiculous. And ladies, again, I have no problem confessing this. Y'all always have had this. Y'all have more power than you realize. The 4B movement is an example of what happens when women start utilizing it. You dig? I'm going to just say this. The 4B movement is not going to work in the United States of America. It's not.
I always find it pretty interesting when the podcast guys come on here and betray their total lack of understanding about the topics they're talking about. Because what do you mean work? Like, the only way that you could think that the 4B movement is not going to work here, and I mean, he goes on to talk about how there will always be pick-me's and stuff, and we can go on about that at length, but the only way that you would think that it's not going to work is if you see it as a large-scale punishment or a manipulation of men, right? Which is really not what it is. It's a choice to decenter men from your life at whatever scale, right? But it's not a punishment of men until your behavior changes. It is a removal of men from the conversation completely. And it's so interesting to me that these types of men are so committed to their worldview and their view of women that women are saying out loud, like, we don't want anything to do with you. Our lives are better without you. And we're not interested in, forming relationships with you and in intertwining our lives with you. And the result of that is like, here we go. Women just trying to control men again. And it's like, no, women are just saying, we're finished with men.
Well, if women are going to hop on the 4B movement trend, then we're soft guys now, okay? All of us men, we're entering our soft guy era, okay? It's all about being a soft guy. We're going to be soft guys now. Soft guy vibes all day, every day. Soft guys forever, blah, 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 blah. How about you enter your fucking I'm going to therapy era? How about that? How about entering your I'm going to properly heal from my trauma and unpack all of my insecurities instead of projecting them onto women era? Huh? How does that sound? Does that sound like a good idea? How about you enter your I'm going to stop seeking validation from other men on my level of masculinity era? How about you walk into that? That sounds like a good journey to take. How about you drizzle some basic fucking hygiene practices into your daily routine? At the very least, every other day. Fuck it, we'll start small. Baby steps. I swear, all of you fucking untied shoelaces out there, y'all just keep giving women reasons to not want to fuck with y'all. Y'all just keep adding shit to the list. Hell, I'm a man myself. And even I'm getting sick of men. Y'all are fucking exhausting.
All right, ladies, at this point, the level of delusion that you all are showcasing with this movement right now is absolutely ridiculous. You realize that this movement originated in Korea, right? It was literally one of the most non-existent movements in Korea. And for some strange reason, it just fell into Western women's laps and they're just eating it all up. What's worse about it is how that there are a lot of Korean women and men coming online making videos about how this movement is really not that big of a deal, but yet it's so many Western women who are discrediting them. It's so many Western women who are telling these other women overseas that they're internal misogynists and they just support the patriarchy. Even though none of these women actually have a clue as to what's going on in the culture over in Korea. Because if some of the Western women understood a fraction of what's going on in Korea, they would understand that women overseas and men in some cases are hiring people to find them a suitable partner. There is literally an industry over in Korea which is like hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars worth of people hiring these dating coaches or marriage coaches to find a suitable partner because they want to have a family. They are literally hiring people to find somebody because they want a family that bad. They want to raise kids. They want to be traditional wives. And I understand that women are like, oh, you know, like the birth rate is significantly lower than the unaliving rate that's happening. And it's because women are tired of men. When in actuality, what's happening is it's too expensive to afford to live in Korea, just like everywhere else in the world. But we all understand that what happens when you actually tell the truth about this movement. So many women are angry about it. You know, low-key, I'm actually kind of glad that Western women discovered this movement. Because inadvertently, any woman in the West who actually supports this movement really just exposes just how big of a red flag they are and just how they will do anything and everything to promote their misandry. Instead of doing the work and healing from traumas that they've experienced at the hands of men, they will bleed all over us and they will use this movement as another mask to say that they're really just empowering women when really you're just an unhealed, scorned woman who won't do the work that you tell men to do. Oh yeah, and PJ, this movement doesn't make any men scared. If anything, it just kind of helps us navigate through the red flags that we already knew existed. The 4B movement is non-existent. If we're going to be honest here, PJ, this is yet again another example of white women taking a movement from a non-white community, weaponizing it and turning it into something that it's not. Try to sit here and say that it's for all women, but really it's just for self-serving, selfish needs. I said what I said.
So I just saw this TikTok video of this man announcing the 5B movement for men to join in response to women's 4B movement, saying that if women don't want to be around us, then fine. We don't want to be around y'all either, and we're revoking access, mind you, in his big age, mind you. And what I find so funny about this whole thing is how unoriginal men are. 5B movement. Drizzle, drizzle in response to sprinkle, sprinkle. Like, that's so lame. Get your own thing, you know? But not only that, but it's so funny how these men be on their chest about being leaders and wanting women to submit to them, yet y'all feed off of what we do. Y'all are following the tone and the pace that we're setting. So who's submitting to who? All right.
Are we not going to talk about how feminism is led by misandry? Like the 4B movement? Is that not of the devil? Like, it's literally evil. This is not going to benefit you in any way. In any way at all. Like, what is this going to do? The 4B movement? This just screams you hate men. Like, imagine if men got on this app and said, oh yeah, we're going to participate in the 4Bs.
Dog, y'all already did that shit. Does nobody remember the MGTOWs? Nobody remembers the MGTOWs? The MGTOW movement? And go their own way? Yeah, this is probably some of y'all's first time hearing about it. You wanna know why? Because it wasn't actually about that shit. The 4B movement is women catapulting themselves into singleness gleefully, willingly. MGTOW movement, despite being about men going their own way, quote unquote, wasn't actually about that life. All the MGTOW movement was a bunch of incel men just reacting to women's content online. Typically, they're like dating content, talking about how they either went on a really great date or a really bad date. And it was just a bunch of these men making fun of these women and stating that these women were dating outside their price range. It's really just these men saying, you didn't settle for my pathetic ass. Like, this movement was false advertising at its finest. These men would not stop talking about women. Like, these men could not stop talking about or worrying about women that weren't even thinking about them. But they were supposed to be going their own way. And them going their own way was the equivalent to someone saying, I'm leaving, storming out of the house, and then just staking out in the bushes in the front yard. Men go their own way. Why don't you go away?
Are we not going to talk about how feminism is led by misandry? Like the 4B move?
Are we not going to talk about how feminism and misandry is a result of patriarchy and misogyny? There's a quote that goes something like, feminists aren't feminists because they hate men. Feminists are feminists because men hate us. It's not misandry to decenter men from our lives, but it is misogyny to feel that you are entitled to women's bodies and their life and that they owe you just because you're a man. Misogyny gets women killed. Misandry hurts your feelings. Movements like this do exist for men. Have you not heard of passport bros? They're fucking all over the place. These American women are trash. That's why we're not getting involved with them anymore. It's the same fucking shit. Except the difference there is that women aren't dropping their standards for certain men. And they're angry about that. Men will do absolutely fucking anything but change. Feminism exists because of how men have treated women throughout history.
We have the power to make morons go extinct like dinosaurs. The morons here are just creating mediocrity. They are creating harm to Mother Earth, disrespecting the planet, and they are cancer to the planet. We don't need that, okay? We can live without mediocrity. We can live without the morons, okay? And if you're continuing to procreate with morons, you're just making little morons. We don't need that sugarfoot. Y'all acting like pregnancy is not a high risk as a woman, especially a black woman. You can possibly die from childbirth, and you out here going half on a baby with the moron that hasn't even bought you a ring or signed paperwork to commit their life to you? How silly. But you thinking, oh, he gonna stay because he loved me. He is just talking. It's all talk, no bite. You need to let people be about that action. You need to see paperwork. You need to see funds in the bank account. You need to quit being on this fantasy and just being all in la la land as a woman and just thinking that love is sex or love is attention. Love is respect. Does this motherfucker respect you or not? If he respects you, he will put his life on the line and sign some paperwork for you. If he not willing to do that, don't have no baby with no modern day bum.
These women are talking about how they're not going to date men, sleep with men, procreate with men, and all these other things, right? Imagine if men got on this app and said, oh yeah, we're going to participate in the 4Bs and we're not going to sleep with women. We're not going to talk to women or date women.
You're not making this video for women, you're making this video for men. Most of you don't even like women. It's apparent in the content that you make. For years, you told women to pick better, choose better men. And then you realize that with women doing that, a lot less of you are getting chosen. And women aren't saying they don't ever want to be with a man. They don't ever want to have kids. They don't want to do those things with raggedy, undeserving men. Women are tired of being married single moms. They're tired of being with men that weaponize their incompetence. They're tired of men that don't want to do the work, don't want to go to therapy, don't want to read the books. They are tired of men who don't want to be better. These women are not going to be scared or manipulated into submission. They're not interested. They've heard what you're selling and they're still not buying it. Women have determined collectively, until the caliber of men in the dating pool improves, they're taking themselves out of it. When you are out here telling women to pick better men, you didn't think it through. You didn't think about the idea that there are not better men out there. So the better option for her is to pick herself, and that's exactly what the women did.
It has been absolutely hilarious to me to see men in this country losing their collective shit over the 4B movement. For those of you that don't know what it is, the movement started in South Korea, a society that is very misogynistic. The 4Bs refer to 4 words in Korean, which I'm not going to pronounce, but I will put right here and tell you what they mean. No hetero marriage, no childbirth, no dating men, and no hetero relationships. The women in South Korea are fighting back against a society that treats them horribly. And many in the US now are starting to take up that movement as well. And you know what? I'm all for it, because the fact is women have been fighting for centuries to be treated with the same level of respect and dignity that men are. And even though they have more rights than they used to have 70 years ago, there are far too many men in this country that think women shouldn't be able to vote or work or own a house. That the only purpose of women in our society is to take care of the house and have children. It's absolutely ridiculous that women are still fighting against this level of misogyny in 2024. It's sad that for all men's statements of protecting women, it's actually more about controlling them. It's time for society to change. And if women need to take on the 4B movement in America to do it, you have my support.
Like the 4B movement, is that not of the devil? Like, it's literally evil. These women are talking about how they're not going to date men, sleep with men, procreate with men, and all these other things, right? And it's like, wow, like, what are you going to do? Feminism is going to lead these women into dating each other. This is not going to benefit you in any way. This just screams you hate men. Like, imagine if men got on this app and said, oh yeah, we're going to participate in the 4Bs, and we're not going to sleep with women. We're not going to talk to women or date women. You know, we would get shamed for that. Actually, you know what it sounds like? It sounds weird. Like, this literally goes against human nature. You're not going to sleep with men and procreate with men and marry men.
Welcome to the find out portion of Fucking Around, where women literally don't care if we go extinct. Like, literally, women all over the world have decided that if the choice is to be married to a man who treats us like nothing, who gives us no incentive or benefits to being in that relationship, or the population dying off, we will let it die off. Don't worry, it won't, because there are plenty of women who will still sleep with you. But those aren't the women you're going to want. No, you're going to want the women who don't want you. Otherwise, this wouldn't bother you so much. Because it's not actually about wanting what's best for humanity. It's about you wanting to control the women you can't. Also, I think it's cute that you think if you came out and said you weren't going to sleep with women anymore, we'd actually care. Most of us just want you to leave us alone. Also, marriage isn't natural. It's a contract. It's about ownership of property, women, and study after study have shown that men who are married are happier and live longer, but women who are married are less happy and don't live as long. Oh, and sweetheart, it's not about misandry. It's not about us hating men. It's about us expecting men to evolve and be better, and you choosing not to. So if you don't like this, if you don't like the fact that women have said, you know what, we're done, we're peacing out, let it die off, you have no one to blame but yourselves.
The 4B movement is going to force men to be red pill. It doesn't matter if you're single, married, in a relationship. You're going to be forced to be a red pill brother, man. And if you're already a red pill man right now, this 4B movement is a victory for us, because everything that we've said, every boundary that we set, that's what we meant. And this is why they have to do what they have to do. You understand what I'm saying? Because we told them we don't want no old single mothers. We don't want women with high body counts. And so with that being said, like, they have to do this, guys. You have to understand this is a victory for men. Because listen, we know that the majority of the women who are talking all this about the 4B movement, they've hit the wall. They're over 30. They had children before they got married. They've never been married, but they got children. And they got a high body count, bro. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing us a favor.
So now we all know what the 4B movement is all about. But my question is, why are men so against this 4B movement? Why are not all the men, why are some of the men so against it? For me, I think the men that are against it, those are those men that have a lot of red flags in them. And I don't know why you guys are scared. It's not all the women that are participating on this 4B movement. I, for example, I am not one of them, because I am living with my partner and we have 2 kids, and I'm just living fine. For I feel that what women are saying is that they are tired of men that take them for granted. So they are tired of all those men that make them feel less of themselves. For me, I think if you find a right man, you would not even think of this 4B movement. So I don't know why you guys are scared, fellow men out there. Don't worry, there are still women that are going to give you what you want. Yeah, there are still a lot of them out there. So there is no need for you guys coming online to insult the women that decided to play along this 4B movement. It does not have to be a fight. It's not everybody that is going to participate, okay? And if you are out there, you are a man, and the 4B movement is giving you the heck, then I think you have to work on yourself. You have to go for therapy, because you are the reason why this 4B movement is rising. But I think I've not really heard about it. I've not heard about it here in Belgium. Even in America, trust me, I don't see that movement going to work, because oh child, a lot of America loves to get, they love to get down. So this 4B movement, I don't think it's ever going to work. Just find yourself a right partner. And men, please, if you guys don't change, you see, this 4B movement is definitely going to rise, and it's definitely going to work. Because without women, we create. So without us, how are you going to have your kids? Huh? So you guys better go for therapy. Change. You guys are the reason why all this movement is starting in the first place. Go for therapy. Go get better and leave the movement alone. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, and don't forget to like, and also don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.